Alright, let's actually see what this second investigation is all about, shall we? Sholmes' suite. I still can't quite believe what just happened. I know. I inquired with the bailiff early after the court session was adjourned. It seems Mr. Vigil was taken to hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out the window of the prison governor's office. But ever since then, he's completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. So he didn't. Nobody knew his secret. Not his family. Not even the man himself. But I forced it out into the open. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep the mark, I wonder? Oh no! Iris! Oh, Iris! You were miles away! Anyway, I've brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you. Oh, thank you. You and Susie have had an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh! Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When we came out of the courtroom back in the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't know. He just suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, "I must leave." I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death. He's up to something. Well, you know what Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wounds, you often open your own, too. But he just can't take his own advice and leave well enough alone. Solving mysteries is too important to him. That's so true, bestie. So true. That's what I like about Hurley, after all. He's... When it comes down to it, and the chips are down, he is very earnest. I suppose that's the lot of a great detective in some ways. He's very Cloud Cuckoo Lander. He's very much day-to-day Cloud Cuckoo Lander, but when he locks in, he's very earnest. So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Oh, do you have time, Iris? Yes, I finished this month's manuscript at last, with barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story to read in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. Yeah, you do? Poor Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we continue our investigation. Iris, have you seen this? Your armband, the symbol of a defense lawyer in Japan. You know, you've showed that to me dozens of times. Oh, have I? Thing is, I just feel wrong if I don't have it on my arm, you know? Well, if you ask me, I think you should try wearing something different every now and then. Oh, really? Like what? Well, I could make something for you if you'd like. What a band that squeezes your arm when the person you're talking tells the title. I'll keep a space free on my left arm then. Ah! Cheeky. Very cheeky game. So how did it go in court this morning? Terrible. We still don't know the truth about what really happened, but one thing's increasingly clear. Lord Van Zieks definitely didn't do it. Oh, goody! Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? And there was another development too. Cosma. Yes, it's quite clear now that Cosma-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed. I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound, the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. He's not normally so mercilessly persistent. So Vigil, the way Vigil reacted to that, and the way that memories seemed to play out, Vigil's a victim in this too. Like, he didn't... Like, he may not have willingly collaborated to help Genshin escape, to help set up the whole, this... At this point, it's pretty clear there was some kind of thing in place where Sith faked the autopsy, and they were just gonna kind of like get him out of the grave and send him home. Just go fuck off. Be quiet, and you won't die. But that fell through because Drebber witnessed him. Someone just re-killed him. And then we had to bury the evidence. Which may have led to the Vigil becoming the fall guy for the, facilitating the escape. Which has left him in this state, which is really fucking sad. What's going on in his head, I wonder? I need to sit down with Cosma and try to understand what he's going through. Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered. And Lord Van Zieks has to be innocent, you see. What? The day before? That should be easy enough to work out. Just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so. But curiously, no time of death was included in the autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Van Zieks, though, aren't there? Ah, do you mean... I mean, what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place? But according to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, didn't he? Turns out that little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it has all the makings of a wonderfully devilish plot. Then why was that notice board in there covered with all those particular papers? Papers about cases with a link to the Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this. So it was Vigil's room. Gregson decided to use it as a secret base. Gregson paid Vigil to do his job for him while he was investigating this. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late. We'd have to track down Gina. Never imagined I might have to be investigating an inspector's movements. Well, according to the entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League the day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same as Hurley? Well, Mr. Sholmes was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it had been the other way around. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil, in possession of Gregson's identification. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my! Yes, you're absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector had something to do that he wished to keep secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. Perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar. I think perhaps we should try to move away from food analogies? Yeah. Well, anyway, if Lord Van Zieks felt the need to investigate Gregson... Yes, I agree. Let's try to find out what he knows. Can we check on Mr. Vigil? Vigil, you say? Isn't the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? That's right. to ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help her to find her missing husband. Only Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck to us. He knew something, because it, like... We very much had that dog in us. Actually, did you say Mr. Vigil had been taken to the hospital? Do you know which one? Ah! It's St. Sinner's, our favorite. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down. It's just the only one we made backgrounds for, so... It's amazing, Runo. You found the lady's husband already. Well, I suppose I have. By accident. And 10 years ago, when Mr. Vigil was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incarceration. No! So when that convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Sometimes I really don't want to grow up. Understandable. There's more. For 10 years after that. He was ostensibly working as a peddler, he had another secret job. Realistically, it was the only way he could keep up his finances. He was paid by Gregson to be his stand-in. To impersonate the inspector. To impersonate Gregsy? But why? I have absolutely no idea. Ginny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Including you, Runo. What'd I do? I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor, to Inspector Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you? Back to St. Sinner's, then. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let's go investigate, my dear fellows. Yeah. Oh, Iris. You've been more enthusiastic than usual today. Anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooting iron will soon set them straight. Based. Water pistol? It's stuffed full of a piping hot extra special blend of mine. Oh. Saucy. And I'm quite sure it'll be very effective. I better be careful not to hide anything. Well, it feels a little strange that Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but still. Let's go and see what we can find out. Like we're not gonna just bump into him. Right off the bat, or somewhere along the way. Yes! Let's go see Strongheart. And or Cosmo. No arguments, Prosecutor Asogi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear? Huh. Perfectly. Cosmo-sama! Defying Lord Strongheart by the sound of it. I never did know when to back down. Oh. On your way now, Asogi. My lord. Kazuma. He He left without saying a word. Yes? What are you doing here? Oh, well... just hoping to ask you a few questions if you wouldn't mind. I wanted Van Ziek's trial concluded today. But Prosecutor Asogi's unwelcome inquiries are going to make it longer than necessary. Unwelcome inquiries into the Professor case, of course. As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. Currently 2 hours, 55 minutes, and 41 seconds. 42. 43. Then you must resolve everything today, before 3 hours have passed, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, we have, like... 15 minutes. The miraculous, not even 5 minutes? Anyway, I can't let that man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information. Does Prosecutor Asogi believe that Lord Van Zieks is the Reaper? I wouldn't know. It was 10 years ago, in that fateful closed trial, that Lord Van Zieks made a name for himself among the judiciary. The next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted, thanks to all the jurors being under duress. That's awful! The man's freedom was short-lived. He lasted just 3 days. Yes, let me see. He died in a rock slide at his palace, at his place of work, I believe. Correct. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bay. People believe Lord Van Zieks was responsible? He was brought to trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident. So he must have had a solid alibi then. Nevertheless, the mysterious deaths continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, ostensibly at the hand of the Reaper. That's a long run of coincidences. Well, the Reaper's true identity may well be revealed by this trial. And the impact that revelation would have on the British public cannot be understated. Is that why it's a closed trial? Precisely. This country hasn't seen a closed trial for 10 years. So the last one was the Professor's. The trial of Genshin Asogi. Correct. Actually, we heard that originally. You were going to prosecute that trial yourself, Lord Strongheart. Van Zieks entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. And here we are, 10 years later. The son of the man Van Zieks had condemned, now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way. They do say that what goes around comes around. However, it would seem that the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motive as well. Cosma is? I'd like my organization to run smoothly in the exact manner that I prescribe. As with the giant clock in here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others. Ah, that's what all the gears are about in here. If the young man refuses to mesh with the other parts of my great machine, I will be forced to take steps. What do you mean? Stepping. Not something with which you need to concern yourself. In any case, all your questions will be answered tomorrow. Now, I shall have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I've been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely 3 hours. Oh my, this is a long time. And I hold you entirely responsible. Even though you miraculously managed to fit everything into not even 5 minutes? I wonder if you might agree to us, talking with Prosecutor Asogi. Discussions between the defense and the prosecution outside of the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, we'll make an exception in this case. Now go. You can find him in his office. Oh, thank you. Let's go to see him at once, Mr. Naruhodo. Kazuma's my best friend in the world, but I'm really not at all sure I know how to talk to him at the moment. Alright. So we're gonna go talk to Lord Van Zinks instead. Oh, hi, Riz. Lord Van Zinks is reading. Look. He doesn't seem like he wants visitors, does he? He must have noticed that we were here, surely. What do you Nipponese want? That's the way to greet the lawyer who's trying his hardest to prove your innocence, is it? Perhaps not. Hmm? I apologize. So, what can I do for you, Mr. Naruhodo? Hey! Lord Van Zinks! Speaking earnestly! Oh, the fog will lift over London for the first time in months tomorrow. This does feel very, very strange. I mean, we stood up to him. I must say, I was impressed. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we stood up to him, but he knows he was in the wrong to lash out like that anyways, so... Not by you, by your fellow Nipponese. Your prosecutor friend. Oh, I see. Yes. It's sardonic, don't you think? A man such as me, so loathing of the Nipponese, to be entirely at the mercy of the two of you. I suppose. It's retribution for having played the part of the Reaper all these years. Played the part? You once told me that you gladly allowed people to believe you were the Reaper, because it helped reduce the amount of serious crime that took place in London. If keeping quiet and playing the part benefits the cause, a cause I myself am committed to pursuing, and why would I choose to say anything? The henchman of a criminal killed by the Reaper attacked you only the other day. That was just the most recent of many attempts on your life, wasn't it? Someone is clearly profiting from your silence about all this. Someone is using you. Believe me, since the Reaper first appeared, I've been doing my utmost to expose him. Or rather, expose the organization. Ah, the whole organization? It's inconceivable that all those accidents were orchestrated by one man. No, the Reaper always appears to have very accurate information about the accused in each case, which can only mean that somebody at Scotland Yard is involved. Someone at... You can't mean... It's taken me many years, but I finally identified the central figure in this Reaper organization. Tobias Gregson. No! No! Gregson? The Reaper? What does this mean? So the reason you were investigating Inspector Gregson is because you intended to expose him as the Reaper? As I said, the Reaper of the Bailey is no single person. A highly secret organization with close ties to Scotland Yard. But there's no doubt that Gregson was a key member of that organization. I don't believe it. Are you saying that Gregson, that he was behind all those awful criminals meeting there? Gregson didn't do the dirty work himself. Oh, Thank goodness. He was the tactician. His job was to covertly investigate the marks and plot their assassinations. Oh, that's still concerning. In order to do that without arousing suspicion, he regularly needed a firm alibi. Which is where Mr. Vigil came in, posing as the inspector. Vigil knows nothing of the Reaper. The room he rents on Fresno Street was almost certainly the headquarters of the operation. Gregson would have met the assassin there, but for briefings. The assassin. So we don't actually know who carried out the killings, then. Actually, I do have a name. You what? If you could name the man, you have the true identity of the Reaper already, then. Or I can name the woman. Oh. It's a young woman with the name of Asogi. Wait, what? Shin? Her? Miss Asogi. The true name of a terrifying killer I know only too well. She came to Japan posing as a visiting student and murdered Dr. John H. Wilson. And just when it seemed that diplomatic protection would help her escape Japan and conviction, the mysterious woman was herself murdered in a small summer beach hut. That woman was actually the Reaper of the Bailey? Mr. Naruhodo, this perhaps isn't the place to discuss. No, of course not. You can't mention it here. The fact that she killed Dr. John H. Wilson. Miss Iris doesn't know. It's very likely that the man was her father. As a Sheen, I should let father know at once. Yes, I agree. Asa Sheen. Very, painful pun name. Cosmo, though, isn't it? Cosmo Asogi. You say he's a friend of yours. My best friend. He's the whole reason I got to come to Britain. It was all on his merits. I have nothing but respect for him. Yes, I understand that only the very best students are selected for such opportunities. And I had a fine demonstration of how sharp he is in the proceedings earlier today. He missed nothing. In fact, his flawless performance very much reminded me of his father, Genshin Asogi, the professor. It's true that the aristocracy at the time was the root of the numerous grave societal problems. They were abusing their power, playing with the common man as pawns in politics, in economics, in war. In many ways, Asogi was carving out a canker for society that we British couldn't deal with ourselves. I see. That's precisely why it makes no sense. Clint Van Ziggs was a noble and upstanding man. He wasn't corrupt. Why'd that damned police have to go and take my brother's life? In spite of having once saved mine. Oh. He saved your life? How did that happen? Well, we're getting all the goss today. It was 10 years ago on a foggy night. What was to be the professor's final strike had sent a wave of panic through the capital. So Clint Van Ziggs had already been killed at this point, then. Genshin and I were walking down some back streets at a late hour. Of course, at that point, I had no idea of the true nature of the man at my side. All of a sudden... Don't make it peep. You're coming with us. You're surrounded. All of our assailants were armed with pistols, their faces obscured by scarves. Clint was not only far from noble heritage. Clint was not only from noble heritage, he was a brilliant prosecutor as well. The scum of London hated the sight of him, and they had no sympathy for his younger brother either. He'd been targeted several times before already. Yeah, it's Van Ziggs, alright, we got him. could hear them murmuring amongst themselves. I knew they were after me. Just when I thought my time had come, I let them kill you. Clint would never forgive me. It's Asogi's voice just whispered in my ear. After that, I don't remember exactly what happened. Next thing I knew, there was silence all around. Genshin lay on the cobbled street. Blood was seeping from his left hand. He shielded me. 2 days later, they arrested him. Suspicion of being London's most notorious mass murderer ever, the Professor. How awful for you! All at once, I lost the brother I revered, and the foreigner friend I held in such high regard. I'm so sorry, Lord Van Zieks. That's the end of my miserable tale. Never thought I'd recount it to anyone. Well, thank you for confiding in me. The Professor, the Reaper, and Inspector Gregson. I wonder just how intimately related they all are. I still can't quite believe that Gregson was essentially the Reaper. Giving assassination orders to Giselle Brett. Mr. Naruhodo, let's go and inform my father. I'm sure our government will want to hear about this new information. Oh, that means I get to meet your daddy, Susie. Hooray. Yes, all right. Let's head back to the Great Waterloo Hotel, then. Alright, Cosmo will have to wait. I think you know that this is worn by people in my country to show that they're defense lawyers, don't you? And I think you know that I believed you to be merely playing at lawyercraft. Initially. But it would seem your armband may actually imply some dormant talent after all. Lord Van Zieks, do you mean? Don't push your luck, Mr. Naruhodo. Let's hope you wake up soon. Yes, I was clearly daydreaming. I almost thought I got a compliment there. Oh. Alright, I got the Great Waterloo Hotel back. I thought it yesterday and I think it again today. This place is so princely. It's a wild guess, but I have a feeling you'll think the same tomorrow, too. My tea's a finer fragrance than whatever they're serving in the tea room here, though, would you say? Ah, look who we have here. This is an unexpected pleasure. Yeah. Ah, Father! Ooh, is this your daddy, Susie? How lovely. What a charming young lady. And you are. Oh, really? So you're the author of The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, are you? That's me. Ivis Wilson at your service, sir. Susie's been such a wonderful friend to me over the last year, you know. Well, Miss Wilson, Sir, I read your work regularly and with much interest. Oh. Iris actually lives with Mr. Sholmes, you know, Father. Is that so? Well, perhaps that goes some way to explaining that bright look in your eyes. Oh, you wouldn't be smiling so airily if you knew just how bright she is, believe me. Dangerously bright. Now then, young Naruhodo, it was a pleasure seeing you in action earlier. As an invitee to the symposium, I was allowed to observe at the gallery, after I twisted some arms. I must say, it was a truly exemplary performance. Oh, well, thank you very much. Well, I'm fairly sure you omitted the by Cosima on the end there. No, please don't misunderstand. It was you who impressed me. Really? You didn't miss a step against Asogi. And we all know how capable he is. He really did do well. Like, barely floundering. Barely knocked off his guard. No, explosions, knockdowns. Like, why am I thinking of like Punch-Out style when Mr. Naruhodo gets knocked down? It's the animation where he just like explodes and then flops face first onto the desk. That's to like peel himself off. He didn't do that in this trial. He held himself together. Had a few surprises to the bone, but it's very kind of you to say so. We did pretty well. Really nice to hear. What I saw in court today confirmed what I'd been hoping for. The favor I mentioned yesterday, Naruhodo. I trust you haven't forgotten. I did forget. Oh, no, you did mention something, didn't you? But first, you have something to report, Father. Of course, of course. Shall we take a tea while we discuss matters further? Wonder where Judge Jigoku has got to. Look at this, Professor Mr. Mikitoba. Ah, Cosmo's armband. He was wearing that when he left for Great Britain. Oh, curious. It doesn't strike me at all. It's as odd to see you wearing it. It rather suits you. Oh. Are you intending to return it to him? Well, yes. I mean, it has his name on it. Now that we found out he's alive, it doesn't make sense for me to keep it. Well, if you ask me. I think Cosmo would be delighted to see you wearing it. Well, I'd feel honored if that were true. So for the meta, should we change back into our normal outfit for our next appearance against Cosmo? Father, do you know about the so-called Reaper of the Bailey? I'd heard rumors. Some members of the judiciary explained it to me yesterday. Of course, when I was a visiting student here in London, the Reaper was yet to emerge. Right, he didn't appear until after that case when the visiting students had already returned home. Lord Van Zeeks was in the dock today. That was Baroque, a younger brother of Clint Van Zeeks, I believe. That's right. And he's known throughout London as the Reaper, as you've heard. But the truth is, it wasn't him behind all those mysterious deaths, it was somebody else. I see. What you're saying is there's been a professional killer at work here. Exactly. Somebody by the name of Asashin, in fact. I beg your pardon. Did you just say Asashin? You mean that Giselle Brett woman who's responsible for killing my great friend? Oh no! A friend of yours was killed? Professor Mikitoba. I think perhaps we shouldn't discuss this right now. The friend the professor is talking about is Dr. John H. Wilson. That's not something we want Iris to find out about. Not like this, anyway. Or we can discuss it right now. Ah! I've just remembered something. Biscuits. This hotel has the most delicious-looking biscuits. It was rather out of the blue. She's doing this deliberately. I think I'll go and see if I can purchase some. Wonder, would you like to come too, Iris? Oh, yes. You just try to leave me behind. So that young girl is called Iris Wilson, is she? Yes, that's right. Sharp. It's very sharp that he picked up on it. I mean, then again, maybe Mr. Naruhodo was just doing like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We shouldn't talk about this here. Yes, that's right. She's the author of all those adventure stories starring the great detective Sholmes. The name of the credited author isn't Iris, is it? It's Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, I know. That's the name of her father, you see. Oh, father? Dr. John H. Wilson. I was deeply indebted to the man for the kindness he showed me during my time in London. Although I was keen to reciprocate and invite him to the Imperial Yume University 4 years ago. He was murdered last year by Giselle Brett. Why? Why would the hand of the Reaper stretch all the way to Japan? Iris knows nothing about that case. It seems very likely that the victim, Dr. Wilson, was her father. Well, I can't say that we ever spoke about his family, so I don't know if he had a daughter or not. I think I can say with some certainty that he was never the great detective's partner. Really? So it could have been another Dr. Wilson, you think? Well, John and Wilson are both common names, after all. Still, it's probably best not to mention this to the young lady until we can be sure. That's what we thought, yeah. We're back with cinnamon biscuits. Oh, ooh, they smell delicious, Iris. I think cinnamon will go very well with the tea they serve here, don't you, Susie? Yes, I'm sure you're right, Iris. Cinnamon biscuits, heck yeah. I haven't seen Judge Jigoku for a while, have you? Guilty. Not guilty. It's still ringing in my ears. No, now you mention it, I haven't seen him since this morning either. I suppose since the symposium's opening was postponed, he'll have gone to explore the great exhibition. It reminds me of something you mentioned yesterday. About Judge Jigoku having once been in the dock himself? Ah, yes, it was all tied up with that accursed trial. The close trial of Cosmo's father. Seishiro was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify. But he, got a little carried away and actually managed to break the witness stand. He... what? Good God. Oh my! Also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. Oh dear, although it's worryingly easy to imagine him doing that. Well, it was all right in the end. He was acquitted and we returned home to Japan together. Thank goodness. Ah yes, talking of Seishiro. I have a copy of the photograph we all took together here yesterday. Please. Yeah. Oh, what a lovely picture. It certainly seems to shout, we've arrived in Britain. Oh. None of us had any idea what was coming when we took that, did we? No, that's so true. Alright, what's our favor? So you mentioned a favor that you'd like to ask me. Well, this fateful trial that you're fighting. One way or another, it will be over before long. When it is, I'd like you to accompany me back to Japan. Want me to do... What? Father! What's the meaning of this? Now, Susato, you should understand. You've seen how our courts work firsthand. Japan's judicial system is in its infancy. Especially when it comes to defense. Oh, you mean... The Supreme Court of Judicature is in desperate need of a good defense lawyer. As soon as possible. Really quite urgently, in fact. But I've not even been in London a year yet. I've read all of Susato's reports, and well aware of your extraordinary talents. Having seen you in action with my own eyes earlier today, there's no question. You, Naruhodo, are precisely the man our country needs. So, you'd be leaving then, Runo? But then, what am I supposed to do, Father? You came here to serve as Asogi's judicial assistant. Oh yeah, she's supposed to be Cosmo's assistant. Government is still in the process of deciding how best to deal with his situation, though. You've always chosen your own path, Susanoo, and I trust your judgment. This matter also. Father! Please, the pair of you, don't look so downcast. It's merely a suggestion, you understand. A hope, if I'm honest. But I won't force you. All I ask is that you consider it. Come to a decision by the time this trial concludes. Yes, all right. You won't leave, will you, Runo? The thought hadn't even crossed my mind. Until now, I've just been trying to do what I believe to be Cosmo's will. But it turns out that he's still alive, so... Where does that leave me? We're lost in the middle of the ocean with nothing to cling to. Well, you'll excuse me now. I need to telegram government ministers and the Japanese police with this information about Asashi. Of course, Father. Thank you. I look forward to next month's installment, Miss Wilson. Oh, good. And please do come to Baker Street sometime, won't you? We'd love to entertain you. I would be delighted. Best of luck for tomorrow, Naruhodo. And give my suggestion your full consideration, won't you? Yes, I will. Going back home. You know, Cosmo-sama has always meant a great deal to my father. I'm sure he'd love the chance to meet with him and talk to him about all of this. Yeah, no doubt. Asashi. Of course, it's so obvious. How could I have neglected to consider the possibility before now? Hi, Sholmes. Ah! Mr. Sholmes? Hurley, where have you been? Why, I joined you all for tea, of course. What an extraordinary question. I didn't notice you at all. No matter, no matter. Anyway, your pressing concerns, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? I must dispatch a telegram to your country at once. It is a matter of much urgency. To Japan, you mean? Tell me, to whom can I entrust this task? Quickly now, who? Well... My father has just now left to send a telegram to the Imperial Police Bureau of Japan himself. I see. Well, he looked reliable enough for a bearded fellow. I don't think my father's sports could be considered a beard, Mr. Sholmes. There's not a moment to lose. Kindly ask your trusty unshaven father to see that this is sent. I will, but what is it? No questions at this time, please, Miss Susanoo. All we can do is pray that for once, deduction is awry. Oh? Doesn't that imply your deductions are normally correct, Mr. Schultz? Just exactly now, then? You'll be surprised to learn that I'm a very busy man. I certainly have no time to hide behind the sea, behind settees, and eavesdrop on other people's conversations. So that's what joining us for tea meant. Smooth. I'll leave the sending of this in your hands then, my dear fellows. Okay. Wait a bit. Mr. Sholmes. Just sort of ran off, didn't he? At quite a pace. And left the unpaid bill for his tea behind, too. Huh. I must catch up with father at the telegraph office. At once. Someone calls a cab straight away. And there was me thinking everyone would be clamoring to pay Mr. Sholmes' bill. Oh shit. Lord Strongheart, can you pay the bill? In some ways, this place seems to rather suit Lord Wednesday. Oh, did I say that out loud? Broke? You want to pay the bill? No? Okay, very good. Iris here? Oh, there's no one here. There are details of cases stretching back over 10 years on this notice board. Yes, the history of Lord Van Ziek's defeats in court. I don't think it's an appropriate description. Although, when you consider everything on the board, it's certainly true. That all these people had a background of dubious dealings. In the end, of course, the board itself concealed the inspector's own death. Oh my, it isn't bear thinking about. Never imagined that this little figurine would turn out to be a watch-winding key. I suppose it's a policeman because the pocket watch was a gift from Scotland Yard. It seems there was much more to Inspector Gregson than we ever realized. He was clearly a brilliant man. It's the fish and chips that throw us off. I feel as though it ruined an image. Maybe intentional. I really don't think we should blame one of Britain's staple cuisines. Think about it. Imagine if it was Mr. Sholmes. How would you feel if instead of that old briar pipe that he's always in hand, Mr. Sholmes had a bag of chips? I'm rather disappointed, if I'm honest. Yeah, exactly. Using a candle as a timer device. Very ingenious, I must say. Yes, the culprit arranged it so that the firecracker would be set off at 5 o'clock and then left. That a loud bang was heard at precisely the moment Lord Van Zieks arrived, yes. If only he hadn't picked up that gun from the floor. So like you probably told yourself once upon a time, I imagine. Yes, I've learned that lesson by bitter experience. I would have turned and run a mile for sure. Which might not have done you any favors either. True. It catches your eye as soon as you enter the room, doesn't it? It's such a bright color, it certainly makes an impression. Yes. They can't possibly commit any crimes, can they? I mean, redheads stand out like a sore thumb. I'm afraid with our jet black Japanese hair, we stand out about as much here in London. Ah, I suppose that's true. You mustn't think of committing any crimes, Mr. Naruhodo. No, I wasn't. This revolver, just who does it belong to? Well, we know it's of the type issued to members of the police force and judiciary. But Gregson's own gun was found on his person. Of course, Lord Van Zieks has admitted to losing the firearm with which he was issued. Such absent-mindedness, not dissimilar to you, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm starting to think the cold, hard prosecutor and I could become friends after all. Then I wish you every success. Susanna, please. It turns out that Gregson didn't actually die in here at all. Where on earth could he have been killed? But one way or another, we must find out. For the inspector's sake. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. When I start thinking about it, though, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind. My imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty. Alright, nothing really to do here. We've never actually been here. It's the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently. To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again. The lawyer. Hello again. Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil? Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. I'm so sorry to have caused you to... I mean, it was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things you'd obviously tried to forget. The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago, too. You just missed him. Oh! Cosmo beat us to it. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. But the truth is, I brought all this upon myself. Please don't think like that. Keeping it from Evie, my wife. All these years, I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to deceive myself as well. You mean about your dismissal? Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all. I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-in. He was clearly concerned with my well-being and doing what he could to help. So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along then. I'm sure this is just desserts for 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it. I swear it's true. Oh, Mr. Vigil. I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time, but if possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened? I want to. I need to get all this off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done. Mr. Vigil, would you mind casting your eyes over this? Oh. My head. It's throbbing. Oh no! It's too soon, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much for him. I can't stand my lawyerly powers. It's too much for me seeing him swoon like this. What are you gripping? What are you gripping? There's no witness stand. Maybe I should lay off the evidence for a while. Okay, very good. Dr. Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. Details of the Reaper's marks, yes. It was when he had to carry out those investigations that I would take his identification and impersonate him. He'd pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf. Oh no, never! A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All he would do is go to the specified location and make a little hoo-ha. Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here. So that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident? Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. As usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence. But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters. Yes. So you would always make a point of showing Greg's ID and generally being loud. That's what the inspector asked me to do, yes. That's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though. As you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. But the following day, they kept their word and released me. Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however. We had arranged to meet in the Fresno Street room at 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. At the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot. It was at midnight on 17th June 10 years ago, after the time scheduled for the execution. The professor's execution never actually took place, did it? Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to effect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a chilling plan it was. Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went on in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, One notable loophole. Something that was never questioned. I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. The coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct? Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. Chief Warder first had to sign the necessary papers. Since your name was on the papers, you got the axe. And after that, no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again. When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had that confirmation, I went into the mortuary to find a lone coffin as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork having checked the coffin, then nail it shut. For some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut. No! Didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy was to have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived. So you mean, the coffin contained... Yes. You only imagine that Asogi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. The coffin was then taken out of the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery. Presumably there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long. So in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free. A living Genshin impact in the coffin. Putting out the wax metal of the wax model of Asogi was used in the conspicuously coffin-shaped transport pods in the body swap device. But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder? I'm afraid I really don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Asogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. That somebody was not me. Obviously, you knew the man then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Yes. Remember him well, in fact. Do you mind telling us what you know? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After the trial, I just carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary. They called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it? It was a time of delicate diplomacy, when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly. The man had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells till his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience. What do you mean exactly? He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd done, so I asked him one day. Those 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken, are you really responsible? I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life, yes. Oh. The following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise. Guilty. That night when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something unusual. Unusual? What? The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi. Ooh. As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked into Asogi's, I noticed that he seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand. Ah, it's that with a testament then, presumably. As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back. But why'd you find that so unusual? Is it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh? Yes, that's true. There were special conditions to Asogi's incarceration, you see. What sort of conditions? Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him. With one exception. Really? He was allowed his things? It's unusual, certainly. Of course, he'd been convicted for killing 5 members of the aristocracy. At the same time, he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. Powers that be were determined. His final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable. What was the exception mentioned to the personal effects he was allowed? That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Specifically, no pens or paper. So, he was prevented from leaving any written record of what had happened to him. Yes, that was the long and the short of it. I have no idea where he obtained that paper. Any writing materials would have been confiscated from him upon his incarceration. I said he hid the paper behind his back, and he pleaded with me. Would you just hide behind your back? Please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But you know it's against the rules. You're the only person who's seen. Just agree to keep quiet. Alright then, but what's on that paper? My last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. Could a will be a weapon? So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. Then later, it just seemed to vanish without trace. What? What do you mean? It vanished? Oh, it's out there. But it seemed that this is the end of the story of this mysterious will. I was the only person who saw Asogi's will, but somehow it disappeared. It was after Asogi's execution, which was actually an elaborate jailbreak. The warders gathered up Asogi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see. Poor Kazuma-sama. And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects. Will, I mean. That's right. Though I didn't search through them myself. Governor Caden did. He was livid. He was screaming, "Can I have disappeared completely?" He knew about it too. That doesn't quite make sense though, does it? In what way? Well, it understood that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence. In which case, how did the prison governor know to look for it? Oh yeah, you're right! I really don't know how he knew. It certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was... the Asogi papers. The Asogi papers? Shit, all kinds of... I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events. Because, well, of what happened. Dismissal, and the way you blocked it all from your memory. I'd forgotten all this until today. I don't suppose it's relevant to the case, though. Anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Mr. Vigil. We're very grateful. I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife Evie will be here shortly, so I do hope I don't appear rude, but... No, not at all. Thank you again. What will become of you now? Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course. Imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested. I'm so sorry. Don't be, please. This was all my own doing. I always knew that this day would come. Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil. Ah! Before you go, there's just one thing. Oh, yes? What is it? The Asogi papers. Hmm? I'd be very grateful if you'd make no mention of the things I told you about them. Presumably for some good reason? It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret. It became known that I'd remembered. Well, it could be rather troublesome, I think. I understand. Some sort of will that Genjin Asogi penned just before his death, which the man himself claimed was his last weapon. Wonder, perhaps that had something to do with his plan to escape. Is there anyone who might know more about a document that Cosmo's father left behind? It would be Mr. Vigil's governor! You know precisely where we must go. Back to Barclay Prison. Well, at least he seems to be on the mend. You know, his disguise as Mr. Gossip was really quite masterful, wasn't it? Can't remember anything about it except for the floppy lip. I imagine not even his wife would have recognized him. Perhaps? Did he really have to take it quite so far? It worked. Oh look, a pair of crutches. Before we came to Britain, I hadn't realized they were used here as well. Imagine they were imported to Japan from Great Britain in the first place. Oh, so no one in all of Japan broke a leg before their arrival. Anyway, the sight of these things doesn't bring back good memories for me. Oh dear, did you injure yourself once and need to use some? When I was little, I thought they looked fun, so I borrowed a pair to play with. And I slipped and sprained my ankle. I see. They contain powerful magic, these wooden staffs. Power to heal and the powers to harm. I think a certain cheeky little boy managed to cause the harm all by himself. Patient treatment notes. What do these say, I wonder? Endlessly obliging. I suppose that's referring to the patient in this bed. I would think so, until Mr. Vigil's a little more stable. It's probably just as well that he has a kindly person in the neighboring bed. The endlessly part is a little worrying, though, isn't it? I mean, what if Mr. Vigil suddenly declared that he'd like to take a trip out the window? Does the endlessly obliging patient simply open it for him and say, "Be my guest"? Let's check with the doctor later. Gotta protect this guy. We have patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Tendency to jump from windows. Remember to place cushion at base of wall outside. Oh god. Aren't we storing up for the ground here? Oh dear. Poor Mr. Vigil. I can't help feeling that there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though. Finding something you'd lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Pursuing the truth can be very dark business sometimes, can't it? Yeah, I'm afraid it can. This notice caught my eye before, actually. I suppose it's some sort of slogan for the ward. A cheerful welcome message, perhaps. Let's see. Pay with good cheer. Leave with good cheer. Look at that! You were spot on, Mr. Zato. It is full of cheer. I wonder how many discharged patients pay their medical bills with good cheer, though. None. Once I had to have a very painful injection when I fell ill with a cold. I felt awful already. So why did I have to suffer the sting of the injection as well as the bill? I yelled at the doctor. Oh dear. Terrible treatment. Alright. Oh. Alright. Alright, we will speak to you about our boy Mr. Vigil next time.